What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. So this is a bad time, really, for any type of injuries that happen with the Clippers. Paul George is out another game, with the Clippers. And, he's been kind of ailing through injuries, this year himself, along with, maybe even Kawhi and others. But he's out another game. This is a big game for the Clippers, really, because they play the Lakers tonight. And the Lakers really, they're reeling. They're not really looking like the best team they want to be, the team they really want to be. And, if they can get a, victory against the Clippers tonight, that would actually, boost their confidence a little bit and try to, and better their chances of at least making a playing tournament. But as for the Clippers, the Clippers have been kind of reeling a little bit themselves, not really looking like themselves prior to the All-Star break. And they need to, get a victory tonight and find a way to, maybe eke out a win, because it's going to be tough, but find a way to pull out a victory against, your rivalry team like the Lakers. And that can definitely, help boost their confidence, going forward and, kind of like, keep the trend going as far as like winning and stay within striking distance of that number one seed, even without Paul George. Now, I think it's going to be a little difficult because, Paul George always usually plays very well against the Lakers. I mean, he's always been noted to do that. He's always been, as far as against the Lakers, I think he's averaged like 30 plus points or something like that against the Lakers. I don't know what it is. He just loves playing against them as a Clipper. And it's been fun to watch, but at the same time, the Clippers are going to be without him, and, Kawhi is going to be there. Hopefully, Kawhi can do enough to, along with James Harden and Russell Westbrook, who should see more time in regards to, PG not being there, along with, I guess, PJ Tucker getting a little bit more time as well. Hopefully they maybe throw Bones Highland in there for a few minutes. Maybe he can give him a little bit of spark off the bench or something like that, because they're going to need everything they can, because for one, the size that the Lakers have with Anthony Davis and with LeBron James, and, the size they have in the paint, they have that advantage size-wise. So if they actually go big while the Clippers play small due to Ty Lue, that's his philosophy, that can actually not bode well for the Clippers if they're not shooting lights out. You know what I'm saying? So definitely going to need a big game from Norman Powell, I would say. Of course, Kawhi is going to have to, at least give about 25, 30 points somewhere in there. James Harden, this would be a game for James Harden to really stand out, kind of, put his imprint on the game, maybe get like a 20-plus point game from him with about 8 to 10 assists, with maybe just a few turnovers. Russ going to need about maybe 10 to 15, somewhere in there. And I think the Clippers can, possibly can pull out a win. But, Paul George's injury definitely just isn't a positive note right now. I mean, he's had, injuries, like I said, throughout the season in regards to, just, knick-knack injuries. But I mean, the groin, I think he did have a groin injury, minor. I think, hey, I think Kawhi Leonard had the adductor, you know what I'm saying? So they've pretty much, passed injuries a little bit back and forth, but they've been healthy for the most part of this season. But that last, interview Ty Lue had or spoke on, was he said that Paul George is hurt, and he really didn't go into like any detail about it. Kind of made me a little bit weary. It can definitely make you a little bit weary because, you're thinking about this part of the season. This is where they kind of really need to be healthy the most, as a team, as a unit, because these last 25 games can dictate a whole lot in regards to seeding, the outcome, where you stand, who you face in the first round, and how hard the uphill climb will be in regards to making it all the way to the finals. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to land the 6th seed or somewhere in there, and now you're, barely holding on, treading water, trying to do a uphill climb, getting into the playoffs and, facing a team like the Timberwolves the first round, which that would be tough for them because like the Timberwolves, they just have that size factor over the Clippers in regards to, size in the paint. So, I mean, the Clippers have lost to them twice this season with a full roster. So you definitely want to be as healthy as possible. If you had to play a team with a mismatch like that size wise going to the playoffs, that's the reason why I say it's very imperative that the Clippers, stay healthy and play at their best basketball this time of the season. And with Paul George being out is definitely not a good thing because you're missing a key piece that can, drop 20, 30 points a game, if need be. So, I mean, that's a huge loss for the Clippers, and hopefully Paul George isn't out long. I definitely think, based upon my sources, from what I'm hearing, he'll definitely be back within a few games, possibly, but I mean, maybe a few more. He might sit out a few more just to be sure, because when it comes to Kawhi and PG, I understand why the Clippers are definitely precautious with those two players due to their injury history, and we all know about it, so we don't have to go into it any in detail. But I mean, it's definitely needs to be noted that, Paul George is definitely hurt right at this point in time. And we just hope that it's something more so minor than major, because like I said, the Clippers can't, they can't fall too much at this point in time of the season. They just can't. They have to find a way. And, Kawhi, if he's healthy, you're going to win some games with Kawhi, but at the same time, we saw what happened last year. Kawhi was kind of like by himself for like the last month of the season, and he was playing unbelievable. He was playing fantastic. But then you put so much onus on him. Now it's like, all right, you got to hope he doesn't wear down, for the last stretch of the season going into the playoffs, and then something happened like it did last season. So, I mean, but like I said, this year's different. They got James Harden, they got, Russell Westbrook, and they got Kawhi Leonard. They still got enough on the roster to win some of these games. They just need other guys to step up where Paul George would be, where he would or supposedly step up, because Paul George is the second guy on the team. So now James Harden has to take that role, and he has to take upon that challenge and go out there and drop some good numbers, some big numbers for the Clippers, for to help keep things afloat. And James Harden can do that. Don't think he can't. He still got it in his game to do that. And Russell Westbrook can have a big game. So we're not counting the Clippers out at all. It's nothing like that. We're not panicking or anything of that nature. But, the Clippers definitely need to be healthy as possible. And I definitely just want to see all of them on the court, because, I mean, this like I said, this team has an opportunity to win a championship. And you don't want no type of, any situation intervening with that. So, I mean, hopefully Paul George gets back ASAP within a couple of games. I believe he will. Hopefully he will. And hopefully they can keep this thing going and, try to figure things out, because, like I said, that seeding is very important, especially for the Clippers, more so than the Clippers than what people think, because they are an older team and they do have older players. So if they got more home court advantage and, more, opportunities to play a team where they have the advantage over in the first round, it's going to go a long way for them. So, I mean, definitely we need to look for that, need to partition for that, and hopefully that happens. But starting tonight with the Lakers, got to try to get a big victory. The Lakers going to give you everything they got. We know that. It's a rivalry. The Clippers could be up by 20, but it doesn't mean anything. In like one quarter, the game could be tied. The Lakers can, they just play the Clippers very well. We know that. So, I mean, hopefully the Clippers come out with the victory and just keep it moving along with the season.